This is an ad by Regain Couples Therapy and features real testimonials.
This was our first time trying therapy, and honestly, it was long overdue. Looking back, we just wish we had started sooner.
Regain's qualified therapists help couples when they can't get there on their own.
We thought it was intimacy issues, but Andrea helped us uncover a deeper root cause we hadn't even realized was there.
Visit regain.com/couplespod to get 10% off your first month. Regain, powered by BetterHelp.
I like things my way. My coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the new Vyvgart Hytrulo prefilled syringe, which contains efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. Now I can inject in my space on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART MyWay.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo. Brought to you by argenx.
Ever felt defeated by cravings? You're not alone. Henry Meds is here to help support your weight management journey.
Since I joined 4 months ago, I've lost 25 pounds and it has changed my life.
Henry Meds' personalized compounded GLP-1 meds shipped to your door. Take back control with treatments designed to reduce appetite. Schedule a free online evaluation with a licensed provider at henrymeds.com/audio and get $100 off your first month. Results may vary. Not all patients are eligible. Compounded medications are not FDA approved. Consult a healthcare provider to determine if treatment is right for you.
Coming into the season here, there's a couple different things that were discussed, and there's some things that we need to revisit. We'll revisit it mid-season as well, and also before the playoffs. But I think it's extremely important that we establish right now, coming into the season, week 1 through week 3, and so far in the beginning of the season, the top 5 quarterbacks, who they are, because there's some confusion on who we think is the top 5 quarterbacks. So I'm going to initially lay it out. And again, we'll revisit this conversation mid-season and give a refresher on who's still in this top 5 slot. But right now, top 5 coming into the season and early on, you got Lamar Jackson at number 1 for sure, without a single doubt in my mind. Josh Allen at number 2. Joe Burrow at number 3. Yeah, he's always hurt, so he probably won't be in there mid-season. Patrick Mahomes at number 4. And then number 5, man, I know a lot of y'all ain't gonna like it, but Jalen Hurts is in there at number 5, bro. I gotta give it to Jalen Hurts. I know it's a lot of people who can debate the number 5 slot of who's there at quarterback. Some people might even go Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott was at number 5 for me for some time. Now I think the conversation even needs to turn toward Baker Mayfield of possibly being a top 5 quarterback. But hey, I'll explain all of that stuff a little later. The point is now that Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback. It kills me to say this because I hate the Eagles. I don't ever want to see the Eagles win. They're annoying. I know a lot of people don't like the Eagles, and I get it, but it's almost a stretch not putting Jalen Hurts in that top 5 conversation. Because if you're starting a football team, think of it from this perspective as well. If you're starting a football team and you want a quarterback who can lead, who can be as dynamic as can be, there are not 6 other people you're putting on your team to lead a team outside of Jalen Hurts. I mean, he can throw, he can run, he's clutch, he's smart with the ball, and he runs an offense to perfection. He's a straight shooter, straight leader, man. And I know there's a lot of different things about his stats. And okay, well, Jalen Hurts, he's not top 10 in passing. He hasn't been top 10 in passing besides one time in one season since he's been in the league. I understand all of that, and I understand that perspective. Trust me, I've abused the stats of Jalen Hurts not being a top 5 quarterback. But this is where I have to turn back and just be honest with it, because this man can truly do everything on the field. Yes, he might not be as accurate as a Josh Allen or a Lamar Jackson, but he can still get the ball to where it needs to be in a timely manner. He still goes through his progressions and hits the open target and puts the ball exactly where it needs to be. And not only during the game, but in the clutchest moments of the game, Jalen Hurts does this. We seen against the Chiefs. Obviously, we know he didn't throw the ball too much, but times where they decided to throw the ball, he put it exactly where it needed to be to capitalize on the play and take advantage of the defense. That's what you need from your quarterback at all times, regardless of what the stats say of how accurate he is. If he's not the most accurate in the NFL, as long as he's putting the ball where it needs to be to take advantage of the defense, you can't really be mad at him. And for anybody who are throwing those stats around time after time of, okay, well, Hurts isn't this. He hasn't been top 10 in this, and he's not top 5. He can't throw. He hasn't thrown the ball. The offense doesn't even allow him to throw the ball. I get all of those arguments about the stats. But one thing I'll tell you, this is one stat you need to hear, because it's one thing to not like the Eagles' game plan. This is what Hurts can't help that he's in a run system. He can't help that he has the best running back in the NFL and has to give it to Saquon Barkley. He can't help that type of thing. I don't like the Eagles either. But in the fourth quarter of one-score games, Jalen Hurts has the highest QBR of any quarterback in the last 3 seasons. If that don't tell you he's clutch, if that don't tell you he can't run or he can run and he can pass the ball and he's smart with the ball and run the offense to perfection, I don't know what does. There's not a lot of quarterbacks who show up big in clutch moments of the game. Yes, they are accurate. There are some quarterbacks who are more accurate than him. But there are not 6 other quarterbacks in the NFL based on last season and so far this season that have Jalen Hurts beat from an overall perspective in a dynamic perspective of what a quarterback can bring to a team. I'm sorry. It's just not the case, man. And I'll leave you with this because I know a lot of people are going to continue to abuse some stats about what Jalen Hurts can't do and why he's not throwing the ball. I get it. That's what you're supposed to do. If you go back and forth, if you say he's not a top 5 quarterback and I say he is, you're supposed to bring up some stats about it. So I'm going to leave you with this. Aside all of my stat heads, everybody who's like, a crazy stat head and they refuse to put Jalen Hurts as a top 5 quarterback from a statistical perspective. Anyone who looks at it and they're like, no, Hurts could never be a top 5 quarterback because he doesn't throw the ball enough and he doesn't have the stats to back him up in terms of being a top 5 quarterback. I'll leave you with this. Troy Aikman. Is Troy Aikman not one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL? Is Troy Aikman Hall of Famer, 3 times Super Bowl champion? Is he not one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL? Assuming the answer is yes, of course he is. You got to remember, his stats, when you compare him to a lot of guys in his time, after him and before him, are garbage. When you look at the numbers, only look at the numbers. You would not think Troy Aikman was as great as he was, and you would not think he's one of the best quarterbacks to play the game if you only look at the numbers of what he's doing. He's not top 10 in passing of all time. He doesn't have a high completion percentage up there with the greats on that list. But at the end of the day, he was smart with the ball and he won his team games. He won ball games. He took care of the ball. He got it from point A to point B accurately. He did what he needed to do to win ball games. So if you take that logic from there, if anybody who's saying Troy Aikman is a guaranteed Hall of Famer like he is and deserved a Hall of Famer and one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game, if you say that, Troy Aikman, best quarterback to play the game, one of them, how can you not consider Jalen Hurts one of the best quarterbacks in the game right now and a top 5 quarterback? How can you leave him out of that list? It's just crazy to me because the logic, it's almost forced. It's almost forced to leave Jalen Hurts out of that top 5 quarterback spot. And it's crazy. I'm on the side. I've been on the side of, he's not there just yet. A lot of people are playing at a high level, but Hurts has been consistent in everything that he's done since he's been in the NFL. You say he can't throw. We've seen what he did to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Okay, you say he's inaccurate, but yet in the fourth quarter, he's showing up clutch and completing his passes. Highest QBR in the fourth quarter of any quarterback in the last 3 years. So you can throw all these stats around of he's not throwing the ball, but ultimately he has a smaller portion of sample size to use of, okay, well, we're watching him throw the ball just as much as Josh Allen, or where we're not watching him throw the ball just as much as Josh Allen. So these things, it does make a difference. I understand. And you can manipulate the stats however you want to, but ultimately this is a guy who has been leading his team and getting wins. And ultimately, if I'm a head coach, bro, that's what I want on my team. I want someone who is very dynamic, can do it all, can throw, run, pass, protects the ball, smart, and ultimately getting my team to win. Hurts has been winning ever since. I mean, he's been winning since we've known who he was. So I have to give him his credit there, man. And, I get it. Some people might not like the Eagles. I don't like the Eagles. But you got to put him up there in a top 5 quarterback slot. It's almost disrespectful at this point to not put him as a top 5 quarterback, at least so far in the beginning of the season. Based on last season, he's for sure a top 5 quarterback. This season so far, he still remains in that slot. Now we'll revisit the conversation come mid-season of who's the top 5 quarterback. But as of now, he's up there, man. And I don't think it'll change too often unless Dak Prescott has a monster season, which is possible, unless Baker Mayfield continues to tear it up how he's been doing. He's earned a lot of respect. I don't think there's many guys you could replace in that top 5 slot for Jalen Hurts. He's up there. He's in that conversation, man. He's definitely solidified that 5 spot based on last season and coming into this season. Yeah, he ain't throw the ball every play, or yeah, he doesn't throw the ball every play, but that's not his fault. It's the game plan. He's carrying out the game plan and he's finding ways to win the ball game. So I'm not upset at that, but I'm happy for it. And I mean, wish him the best of success. I just hope he don't win another Super Bowl because I want the Falcons to win. Other than that, I'm going to leave y'all on a positive note here. And the positive note for the episode is just going to simply be to just be grateful for whatever it is, man. Be grateful for whatever you're able to do. Even if that's just simple things like going for a run, working out, walking. Just be grateful for certain things, because there's always someone that wishes they had exactly what you had, and not even in a hating sense, but just something where it's unfortunate. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. Even with the job, I know everybody hate their damn job, or a large majority. I'll say that a large majority hates their job, but you gotta be grateful for it. Some people trying to get a job and can't get a job right now. So, and they're qualified, but I'm gonna just say that. Be grateful for something. So just find some things to be grateful about. Say to yourself, give me 3 things, and just give yourself 3 things on occasion of what you're grateful about, because it's always something that you can be grateful for. Other than that, man, that's all I got. So that's a positive note. I'm gonna leave y'all with that, and then I'll be back. It's the weekend, so have a great weekend. We'll be back later on next week, and so on and so on and so on.
This is an ad by Regain Couples Therapy and features real testimonials.
This was our first time trying therapy, and honestly, it was long overdue. Looking back, we just wish we had started sooner.
Regain's qualified therapists help couples when they can't get there on their own.
We thought it was intimacy issues, but Andrea helped us uncover a deeper root cause we hadn't even realized was there.
Visit regain.com/couplespod to get 10% off your first month. Regain, powered by BetterHelp.
Ever felt defeated by cravings? You're not alone. Henry Meds is here to help support your weight management journey.
Since I joined 4 months ago, I've lost 25 pounds and it has changed my life.
Henry Meds personalized compounded GLP-1 meds shipped to your door. Take back control with treatments designed to reduce appetite. Schedule a free online evaluation with a licensed provider at henrymeds.com/audio and get $100 off your first month. Results may vary. Not all patients are eligible. Compounded medications are not FDA approved. Consult a healthcare provider to determine if treatment is right for you.
Sleeping hot and sweaty, tossing and turning all night is like being on a team that never has home field advantage. You're losing before the day even begins. It's time to reverse the curse and solve your sweaty sleep problems with Coop Sleep Goods. Their entire cooling collection, including pillows, sheets, and more, is equipped with cool-to-the-touch technology that actually stays cool all night long, no matter your sleep style. Their award-winning pillows are customizable for side, back, stomach, or combo sleepers. Put an end to thermostat wars and stop flipping to the cool side of the pillow. Save the sweat for big presentations in the boardroom or pickup ball in the rec room. Visit coopsleepgoods.com/sports to get 20% off your first order. If you don't sleep cooler and better, return it risk-free with their 100-night sleep better guarantee. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/sports.